Hey, what's up? Chris with you, Redbeard Videos, back with another edition of The Fives. And this is a very special edition of The Fives because it's in support of a contest that my channel here has been approved to run. That's right, yours truly, Chris from Redbeard Videos, got his grubby little hands on 2 sets of tickets for this year, 2023's edition of Sonic Temple Festival in Columbus, Ohio. We're talking about Tool and Godsmack. That's on Thursday. On Friday, we got Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age. Saturday is Kiss and Rob Zombie. Kiss and Rob Zombie, 2 of the biggest stage shows you'll ever see on the same stage in one night. Could you believe it? And then the final night is Foo Fighters and Deftones, along with a whole host of today's biggest rock and metal acts. So that's happening in Columbus, Ohio, May 25th through the 28th. And you can win 2 pair. Well, not you individually, but I have 2 pair to give away right here on this channel. You have to pay attention here in order to find out where to win it and when to win it. So, with that being said, this episode of The Fives is all about festivals. A festival! I've been to dozens of festivals now in my life, especially since they've come back and become like a countrywide thing in the mid-2010s here. So, it was something that was kind of brewing in the early 2000s with like the Lollapalooza coming back, all that stuff, and then Rock on the Range started in Middle America, and Coachella's been going on for a while, and Firefly on the East Coast. But now it's like I think every quadrant of the country has at least 1, maybe 2 festivals, and the leading brand of festival is Danny Wimmer Presents, and that's who's presenting Sonic Temple Festival, along with Aftershock in California. Carolina Rebellion was another one of theirs, and Chicago Open Air, Welcome to Rockville and Daytona is another one. They have them all over, and Danny Wimmer puts on a fine festival, fine product. I've never been disappointed. So, with that being said, and along with my lack of disappointment, I've seen hundreds of phenomenal performances at these festivals, but I have done it. I've narrowed it down to 5. Well, actually like 11 because I added 5 or 6 honorable mentions. I've narrowed it down to 5 in which I'd like to talk about. So I'm going to count down the top 5 performances I have personally seen and been in attendance at festivals in America. Now, before we launch into this countdown, I want to say you need to subscribe to this channel because we've been around 2 years now, almost. Well, we're going on 2 years. I've been on hiatus for about 6 months because, as you can see, I was building my palatial new studio, and I'm excited about it. But now I'm going to be doing Twitch streaming, and I'm on Whatnot selling records and stuff and streaming there and talking music, and I'm going to be streaming here live on YouTube. Plus, I'm on thatmetalstation.com doing radio. I'm all over the damn place. You can't get enough of me. So, I need you to pay attention to here because this is home base. This is where everything comes back to. Right here, the mothership is Redbeard Videos on YouTube. So this is the place to be. You need to subscribe and you need to follow this channel. And one other thing before we head into the countdown, I'm going to exclude Woodstock 94 and 99. I was at those festivals and they were amazing in terms of performances. Of course, we remember the shit show that 99 became.
When the fire started, the show stopped.
But besides that, I can't possibly, first off, really remember. I mean, I remember it through video and watching them. The performances were amazing, and they were otherworldly amazing. So this whole entire countdown would probably be 4 out of the 5 would be from Woodstock 99 because the performances I saw there, Rage Against the Machine, Counting Crows, Alanis Morissette, Korn was amazing. Live blew my mind. It's just so many great performances that I saw. Tragically Hip was awesome. I mean, there were so many great performances that I saw at 99 Woodstock that I can't even put it in here. So I'm going to exclude them. I'm only going to count festivals from 2000 on because those are the ones I've been to. The only other one I was at before that was the Woodstocks that were aforementioned. And without further ado, So this is a weird one because my then 13-year-old son, who was the person with me, would disagree with me only because Dillinger only got to play like 5 songs. It was like a weirdly shortened set because there were massive storms in the area and it was craziness. And if you know anything about Range, which is now Sonic Temple in Columbus, Ohio, they are due for at least one, if not several, monstrous, cataclysmic thunderstorms that's just gonna shut the shit down and make you run for cover. And this was no different. But with a shortened set, I have to tell you, even as far as festival craziness goes, Dillinger brought it and they brought it hard. And it was so bad that Greg Puciato, vocalist and singer of Dillinger Escape Plan, who normally climbs the damn rafters when it comes to indoor shows, was like a caged lion. He could not find anything to climb off of and he tried. Trust me, he tried. He tried to climb up the giant rafters. He tried to climb, he just tried to find things to climb. Meanwhile, Ben Wyman is jumping off like stacks of amplifiers. It was bananas. And for a short set, it was still pretty awesome. A pretty memorable set. One of the most memorable things I remember of 2017 for sure. Rock on the Range. Oh, sad face. Hardcore, off the wall sad face. And I have to say, as I record this, the brand new Foo Fighters song came out today as I recorded this. And I'm pleased to say that I will get to see Foo Fighters again at Sonic Temple in 2023 in less than 2 months from now, in less than 6 weeks from now. I will be able to see them live on stage again, which I didn't think would happen after the tragic death of Taylor Hawkins. But here we are, 2023, and Foo Fighters is going back out and continuing on as they should, because I think that's what Taylor would want. And the new song is wonderful, and they sound just as good as ever. So that's a good thing. It's a testament to the musicians that they are. With that being said, if I would have known then what I know now, that was the last time that I was going to see Taylor Hawkins perform, it would have made it even more impressive, because that show was out of control good. If you've never seen Foo Fighters live, you need to. I've only seen them once, and it was this performance at Sonic Temple 2019. And now I have to say, from the again, this was another situation where rain and thunderstorms threatened this performance all day long. Everything kept getting pushed back, everything kept getting moved around, and they were like, we're playing, we don't care. And they didn't care, and they defied the gods, and they made it happen. It was such a phenomenal performance, from the regular Foo Fighters songs they played to some Queen songs that they played, and Taylor Hawkins was singing stuff, and he had his drum riser, and it was all just super cool, very emotional night. And looking back on it, it makes me even more emotional now, thinking about the fact that it was the last time I would see Taylor Hawkins play. Faith No More at Aftershock 2015 was, I had a hard time deliberating this, because number 2 and number 1 are so off the wall insane that it took me time to deliberate this performance. Not only did they go on after Coheed and Cambria, which is one of my very favorite bands in the world, and the Deftones, who absolutely, literally tore up the stage right next door to them, because the way that they set up these festivals, specifically Aftershock for sure, Aftershock sets up the 2 stages right next to each other. So there are 2 main stages, and they're right next to each other, and then one plays, and once they finish, it's almost like within 5 to 10 minutes, the next band is on. So you don't have to wait forever for a change of stage. So like Deftones literally tore up the stage over here, and then here comes Faith No More. And this was the tour when they all wore white, and they had the flowers along the front of the stage, and Mike Patton was just so goddamn good. And it was the first time I had seen Faith No More in almost a decade, and it just blew my mind. Their set list was amazing. Their energy was amazing. And it was the end of the show. Like, it was the end of the festival. And I have to tell you that I've seen bands play at the end of festivals before. I saw Avenged Sevenfold close Aftershock the year before in 2016. And it was weird because it was a great show, but the energy was down. It was like it was the end of the festival. People were tired. People were hot. People were drunk. Faith No More had a great energy. And I think it was all part of the music that Faith No More plays. It's almost like they were kind of soothing, even though there was still very much madness going on. So it was a surreal performance, and it really just, I don't know, it was the perfect capper to a phenomenal festival. One of the sickest performances of the last, I don't know, 20 years that I've seen, and I've been to over 600 shows probably in the last 20 years alone. And because I'm on like 650 or high 660s at this point, and I think the first up until 2000 I hit like maybe 65, 70. It's been insane since. And I have to tell you, this show, Rage Against the Machine in Quebec City at FEQ Festival last year, was off the fucking wall. I have to tell you, like, I saw them the night before, literally the night before in Ottawa, and that show was fantastic, but it was a much smaller crowd. Like, I think the Ottawa Festival only holds like maybe 35,000 people. FEQ was almost 100,000 people, and it was absolutely absurd, and you could see the difference in Zach De La Rocha's performance and his presentation. Not to mention, we heard different songs on the second night show than we did the first night show, and they played songs like Viet Now, which was one that I missed on the first one, and I was so glad I got to see it. Without a Face was another one. I think they played that both nights. I don't remember correctly, but Take the Power Back was definitely on the second night, not the first night, and those two songs, Take the Power Back and Viet Now, hit hard. Like, they were bangers, big time. Phenomenal, ridiculously emotional performance. You could feel like everything he was giving, and his speeches were different, and the things he said were different, and you could feel the Quebec crowd just like giving themselves over to him. It was amazing. It was just, the energy was so different from the Ottawa show. Not that the Ottawa show was bad, it was awesome too, but the Quebec City show was just a whole different ball game. Just an incredible experience overall. And now, before we get to number one, I want to remind you to subscribe one more time, and also, let's hit these honorable mentions. Alice in Chains at Rock on the Range in 2018. It was the first time I had seen them in, I think, like 20 years. And it was cool. It was the first time I saw them with William Duval. And it was the weekend that Chris Cornell died. And it was super emotional. But like, Alice in Chains doesn't get really emotional. Like the night before with Live, very emotional, because Live is that type of band, whereas Alice in Chains just came out and did their thing, but it was just, they paid tribute to Chris Cornell, and it was just great. They were so damn good. Alt J at FEQ gets a mention, and so does Churches. I'm going to do them both back to back here, because Alt J and Churches are two bands that I kind of knew about, and I kind of liked them. But before I saw them live, and this was the first time I saw both these bands live, I was just on the fence. I was like, I like some of their songs. And then I saw them live, and I've been a fan ever since. I just was blown away by Alt J's stage show. Completely blew me away. The three guys, they just kind of hang out and chill and play their music. But like, the stage show is so good, and they're so tight live and so good. I really was impressed by Alt J. And then Churches, who went on the same day before them, and I was just completely enamored with Lauren Mayberry, the lead singer of Churches, and her presentation, the way she sings, her melodies, and the whole bit. I was just really impressed, and I've been a fan ever since. Dude, Gojira at Sonic Temple 2019 gets on this list simply because the rhythm guitarist whose name eludes me was caught on fire. That's right. It was so windy that they had pyrotechnics that came up from the stage, and it blew back on the dude, right? And that's not awesome. That sucks that happened. What's awesome is the dude came back and continued to play like it was nothing. Like, he was set on fire. It was obvious. He lost like half an eyebrow. It was insane. And the guy still came back. I mean, you can always vote for Gojira as a bombastic and impressive live performance, and I'm never going to argue with you. I've seen them like 6-7 times now, and they always blow me away. But this one was particularly memorable and special because of the singed eyebrow. Primus sucks, and they sucked extra hard at Aftershock 2016. If you know, you know. And this is one from my heart, honorable mention. It was the last time I saw Huntress live at Mayhem Festival 2012 in San Jose, California. And I was friendly. I mean, I wasn't inner circle. I didn't like hang out with her a lot, but I was friendly with the singer, Jill Janis. I was there from the beginning with this band. I really watched them ascend to a mid-level thing for a metal band. You can't, this was pre-Ginger, this was pre-Spirit Box. I think Huntress was kind of like right at the beginning of In This Moment. So they kind of, In This Moment broke bigger, obviously, but Huntress was heavier. They were heavy metal, like they were real metal, like they were Motorhead style metal. And Jill Janis was a phenomenal singer, a phenomenal soul, and a wonderful person. And I'm sad that she's gone, and she's been gone a while now. But I think she's been gone like 4 or 5 years now, and it's really sad. But I put this on there because it was an awesome performance, and it was the last time I got to see them live. So. And now, number 1, 21 Pilots at Firefly Festival. I said before that Alt J and Churches, seeing them live made me into fans, right? But seeing 21 Pilots live for the first time at Firefly made me a fan, like a big fan, like a fan that, like, whenever 21 Pilots puts out an album and they're going to go on tour, I'm going to see that tour. Like, I didn't go out of my way to see Churches when they came out last time around. I didn't go out of my way to see Alt J when they came to America again. But I will every time 21 Pilots comes around, because that show was so damn good. Even though I didn't even like their last album, Scaled and Icy, all that much, I still went to see that damn show at Madison Square Garden in New York City because it's that friggin' good. And I have to say that I've never seen a crowd react to a group like that before, and it's 2 guys. All it is 2 guys, and I know they have backing tracks, and I know there's the haters out there that are like, they're not real musicians because they use backing tracks. They're real musicians, okay? And even now, as they evolve, in their newest show, they had a whole band with them. So they're evolving as a group, as a band, and but this was where it all began for me, which was at Firefly Festival 2017 in Delaware. And I saw them, and my son, I brought my son. That's the only reason why I went. I would never go to a pop festival like that without reason, unless it was somebody mind-blowing, like if Prince was playing a festival. He's not alive anymore, but if Prince was playing a festival, I would go. But my son was a huge fan. I surprised him with these passes. I got media passes, the whole bit, and then we went. And I have to say, it changed my life. I put their show right up there with Rush, and Rush is my all-time favorite band. So for me to say something like that, that's saying something. And that's my list. What'd you think? Have you ever been to festivals? What festivals have you been to? And what performances stood out to you? Tell me down in the comments. Leave a comment, whatever it is. And check back here because I will be giving away 2 pair of tickets to Sonic Temple 2023, which is May 25th through the 28th in Columbus, Ohio. You have to figure out how to get yourself there, but I will provide your foot in the door so you can enjoy the rock and roll and the metal that's going to take place. And just to recap,
Sonic Temple Art and Music Festival is back at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, with the Foo Fighters, Tool, Avenged Sevenfold, Kiss, plus Godsmack, Rob Zombie, Deftones, Queens of the Stone Age, and more. Memorial Day weekend. Get your passes on sale right now at SonicTempleFestival.com.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be awesome, and it's as simple as this. If you want in the door and you want in the contest, you have to subscribe. You have to view the videos. I'm going to be putting videos out, and they're going to have directions of where you need to be in order to win these tickets. Give me a like, maybe, and drop a comment. Any comment, doesn't matter. Comment here, make a comment on the video you just saw. Why don't you say this? If you're in for the contest, leave a comment telling me what band you're hoping most to see at Sonic Temple. How about that? Look at the lineup. There's no less than 50 bands playing at Sonic Temple. So tell me which one you really want to see. Is it Kiss? Is it Rob Zombie? Is it Tool? Is it Pennywise? Is it I Prevail? Is it Knocked Loose? Is it Bad Flower? There are a whole slew of bands, different styles, different genres, and we'll go from there. So be here, subscribe, check out the videos, and pay attention to where you need to be. And until next time, thank you so much for being here, as I so much enjoy being here with you. And until next time, bye-bye.